Hello everyone, welcome to a new training of Selenium with C#. Thank you all for being here. This is going to be a very short orientation session followed by a long question and answer where we will get a chance to also address all the questions that you have. Thank you all for being here. It's been a long time since I started teaching again after a really long gap, and I'm very excited that this is happening for me again. I personally enjoy teaching a lot, very passionate about it. Just because I wanted to involve myself into a few other new initiatives and focus on them, I gave this long gap, but very excited that I'm back teaching. So team, we're going to get started slow. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what we're going to do as part of this orientation session. And I will also walk you through how it's going to work overall program. So to do this, I'm going to take a quick Word document and start putting it in there. But at the same time, what I will also do is make sure that each of you will get to know how we work using Google Drive to collaborate. So let me quickly start writing what is it that we're planning to do as part of this program right now. Can you all see my screen okay, team? Any questions that you have while the session is going on, please use the chat. And I'm also joined by Manoj. And Manoj is there to also help us through this training program overall. We're going to help you together. Kiran is the other trainer who will be helping us with the C# portion of learning. He's a .NET C# trainer with a lot of expertise. So a quick look at the agenda for today's session, team. One, we will start with a few polls. The reason I want the polls is to understand the audience better and for you all to understand each other better. There are almost about 50 people in this session today. So you will understand where they're coming from, what kind of a background they have, and what is the perception of this specific training course on Selenium with C#. After that, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the training, how it's going to work, what we're going to start with, and so on. We will also look at some prerequisites that we want you all to go through or do while this training is happening. Little bit of it before we start the training, majority of it while the training goes on. We will also talk about what kind of a project work we will be taking up. Primarily, one of the reasons IT eLearn has become very popular in the training arena team has because we do not take a concept approach. For example, I do not start saying what is a Selenium WebDriver and then arrive at it. I rather show here is a project, you're part of this project, and now to solve or provide a solution for a need in the project, what are the features that are available in any specific tool or language. I will also talk about how we all collaborate in this overall training. Very important to be able to communicate well and to be able to share information and be in a constant touch through this entire program that will happen over the next 3-4 weeks. Finally, we will do some question and answers, and I will be able to address most of your questions that you have. So team, are we ready to start with some polls? I really want to know the audience, so that's the reason I've created a few sets of polls, and if you're ready, let's get going then. Polls are very simple. On this GoToWebinar, you will start seeing a question popping up, and you have the option to answer. At the end of each poll, I will be able to share the results with all of you. So I'm launching the first poll, and you should be able to see it on your screen right now. From our side, we'll be able to monitor as to who has voted and who is still to vote. This poll is basically saying what is your current career level. Are you totally new to IT? Are you someone who's trained in QA but looking for the first job? Or working in software testing, but more of a manual portion, but you're planning to go to automation testing? The last one is you already work in automation testing, but you believe that you need a better skill better knowledge to do justice to your job. All right, team. So I've got 72% votes. I'm going to give another 10 seconds. Please get all your votes in. Once it crosses 85, I'm going to close the poll and share the results with you. As of now, looks in the direction of where we are and what I really expected out of this poll. So I'm going to close the poll and share the result right now with you. So here is the result, team. Can you all see the result on the screen? We've got about 5% who are total beginner to IT. 40% of you are trained but looking for the first job, which is a majority. 35%, which is close to the highest poll answer, is you working in software testing, maybe manual, but you plan to move to automation testing. And good to know that 20% of you are working in automation testing, but seek that additional guidance to really make it count in your work. Almost 75% team, rather actually 75% of you are somewhere comfortable with manual testing, but automation testing is the big hurdle that you're planning to target. Great, thank you, team. So let me take the next poll and see what you have about it. This is an important question, team. Very simple, but it says, do you believe that Selenium will do the trick for your automation testing career? There's so many tools out there, especially in the software testing domain. There are many tools. I would say you can easily say between 12 to 15 tools that are very popular. And as a manual test engineer, tools becomes very important to carry as part of your resume, as part of your work experience. So how many of you believe that yes, it is the right tool for your career, or you feel no, there are other alternate tools that are much better than Selenium? Or you could be someone who's totally new, who's saying that, you know what, I don't know Selenium and that's the reason I'm here, and that's fine too. I've got about 75% votes in, team, so please take a few seconds, complete it, and I'm going to close the poll in about 3-4 seconds. All right, great, almost 90% votes in. I'm going to close the poll and share the results. So 83% of you, team, strongly believe that yes, absolutely, Selenium is the right tool for your career. So, and this audience, team, is spread across the world, right from US, UK, Europe, Australia, India, and so on. So the registrations that we've got for this session are across the globe. You will see a varied set of industries based on the geography, but the answer is the same. Selenium is still a very popular leading tool. I really appreciate the 5% of you who said no, not at all, because it's a solid statement saying that Selenium is really not about that hype. It is a low percentage. It does not represent the overall population or what the perception is. If you ask me personally, I would say yes, absolutely. That would be my vote. But I appreciate the 5% only for the reason that you know that there are other tools in the market that are catching up. So either you go with the new tool or you stick with the most popular one right now, which is definitely Selenium. And team, the 5% of you who said Selenium is not the right tool, I would I would sincerely request you to put what is that alternate tool you believe is really taking off. That will help us also to see what viewpoints you have. 12% of you, what is Selenium? Great. Thank you so much for taking the brave step to be here, team. And that is the audience who should not be worried at all, because we will start at a very ground level. And as each day of training happens and you practice, you will see how easy it is to really master this tool in the way that the industry wants. Learning anything, team, should have a purpose. The purpose should drive you to how and how much effort you'll put into learning it. Thank you all for this poll. I have a few more ones coming. This will really set us as to where we're going with the whole program. Great. So here you go. Since you said that yes, Selenium is popular and it is the right tool to choose for your career, how do you think you know about the popularity? It's either through word of mouth, or you have searched it over Google and found that, yeah, this seems to be the most interesting one or in demand. Or when you went for a job interview and you felt that they're asking, hey, do you know Selenium? Very simple, team. What happens is sometimes you apply for a manual testing job. They say we need just manual testers, back-end testers, front-end testers, maybe a little bit of SQL or database testing skill. But then you get to an interview and they'll say, hey, you know what? Do you by the way know Selenium or any other automation testing tool? And then you said, no, the job never asked for it also. But then the interviewers will expect it is good always to have this on your resume as a plus, even though you just apply for manual testing. And this is a more than one answer question, team. You don't necessarily have to put one answer to it. You just have to select whatever you feel. It could be more than one. So you will see that the overall votes for this will cross the 100 because a lot of you will choose multiple options. And this is going not in the same direction, but I'm very happy by seeing the results because amazing to see how people have found about it. So team, about 85% votes in. I'm going to close this poll and again share these results. There you go. So how do you know about the popularity of Selenium? These are the results. Friends and family or word of mouth, 24%. That's good because you spoke or someone recommended you. You researched and found is 66%, and that was surprising. That is an amazing thing. I did not expect such a high percentage votes for this. Why did it come to such a high percentage? That shows that each of you are actually self-driven. You may have heard about Selenium from someone, but you went online and started going to, let's say, Monster, Career Builder, Indeed, or Dice, and started searching, hey, what kind of jobs do we have in my area? Let's say you live in Dallas, Texas, or you live in Mountain View, California, or you're living in Edison, New Jersey. And you go and search in my locality, in my area, what kind of jobs are there in this field. And you must have encountered that Selenium seems to be repeating as a keyword everywhere. Is that correct, team? So that's a great number. And 32% is again a big number because you went for job interviews and you got the feedback. Do you know Selenium? I am actually very honestly happy about the fourth one. That's just 2%, team. Only cause Karthik says so. Just because I keep saying Selenium, Selenium, hardly any one of you are joining that or taking that line. It is your own research. It is your own word of mouth. You have heard it from others, and you also have heard it from the lion's mouth. That is your job interviews. Great, team. Thank you so much for this poll. And I do have actually three more polls, and then we can get started with the remaining. The crux of the session are these polls, team. I am not really trying to stay here and say, hey, you know what, this is what I know. I'm trying to get the answers from the audience itself. A lot of it is present with you. So here is, as part of this program, $1 million question. Is C# better than Java for Selenium? There could be two reasons. One is C# as a tool does better automation than Java for Selenium. For example, I have a project. If I use Java with Selenium and then execute it, I will see that if I had done it with C#, it would have been much more better, effective, efficient, more reusable project and so on. That is the intent. The second one is C# better than Java because of the job opportunities. And again, there is no right or wrong answers in this team. It is about your perception. Either you're saying, yes, it is better. No, Java is still the king. Or you're saying, you know what, Karthik, what do you say? All right, team, almost 70% votes in. A few more seconds and then we'll go for it. Again, nice results. Very amazed. Whenever I conduct polls, it's an eye-opener for me. It's truly an eye-opener for the entire audience as well. So let me close this poll, team. We are about over 80% of votes in to it. And here are the results. I'm very glad to see 28% of you said yes. So you believe strongly that C# has a better future than Java. No is 10%. So still we have some Java lovers out here, and that's great to know. But majority of you want to hear what I say because you have come to me and said, Karthik, what do you say? I do know what I want to say. I'll come to it in a quick second after I show the next poll, team. But for the people who are saying yes, I'll tell you one of the reasons why C# has some popularity in the market compared to Java. Java is an open source platform, so no one really needs to purchase a license to start working or coding or developing in Java. So companies don't have to. But yes, the companies have other costs to incur, like investing in technology, servers, and so on, to be able to run Java on them. All right, and I'm talking the entire family of Java programming tools. C Sharp, on the other end, comes from Microsoft, and they do have packaged versions which can be premium ones. So you will see that you pay initially license fee, but it's got much more controlled environment, and that's why both of these have are competitive enough in the market. So you really cannot say which is a better one. They go parallelly with a lot of things. Microsoft, of course, has been there for a very long time, so it's got some kind of a history of base. Java is much more newer compared to it. Still, even if you look at it, Java started somewhere in the 90s and very popular about it. But the real answer, team, is again the purpose of you trying to come to this session or take this training, and that is what I'm going to answer as part of the 62% votes. What is the purpose? The purpose here today, if you look at the first poll results, let me show you that. Is 75% of you are trained in QA or working in QA and planning to migrate into automation testing. It's not easy, team. Sometimes you may get the opportunity within the same company where you're working, if you're working, or you are planning to switch your jobs, go to a new job in some other organization, but you know that having an automation testing tool as part of your portfolio, your profile, will really help. Now, the purpose is to get a better career opportunity, either the first one or improve from where you are. Correct? You all agree with it? This is the poll for it. So, my answer about why you should learn C Sharp along with Java. I wouldn't say that if you have to choose between C Sharp and Java, go with one. But if you're someone who already learned Java or you learn C Sharp, how will it be to learn other things? You apply for two jobs at the same time, team. Okay. One says we use Selenium with Java, JUnit, TestNG, and so on, that family. The other job says we use Selenium with C Sharp. Now, if you go with one of these tools, you are better off in one of these jobs. You cannot compete in both. But with this kind of a program that I'm going to show you, you have that opportunity and that edge to be able to go and say, you know what, I can manage both. One of the fundamental things that lot of people fail to understand when they learn automation testing is the programming and coding needed to learn automation testing is not for a developer. You're not trying to be a software developer. You're trying to remain as a software quality assurance engineer or analyst, but learn enough scripting programming that will make your automation testing easier. That is the purpose, team. So with that, I would now show you why it's going to be happening. This is more like testing your mental state as of now. Because anytime you take this move, team, anytime I want to learn something new, even today, for example, I did try and go to a dance studio out here in India. It's become very popular to see if you want to, if you can, I can join that course. I had goosebumps just seeing the people dancing and all that, because I know it's far away and I'm not an expert. I do my casual ones when we are partying and so on, but not really the way of professional side where you see someone and say, hey, you know what, I want to be like that. So even today, I am a trainer worldwide, but at the same time, when I have to go and venture into new areas where I'm not comfortable or used, I still feel like a kid, because only when we become like a kid, we are able to learn. In this circumstance, when you have joined, are you someone who is worried about it because it does give you some kind of a fear? Not at all. You have the confidence that yes, I can handle it, or kind of mixed feeling somewhere in between. So, team, I'm closing this poll. A few more seconds for you to take it in, please, and then I'm going to share the results. And if you notice what's happening, team, you are one among this 50 plus audience who are currently answering the poll. Correct? So you know your answer, but you're also seeing who are attending this session along with you, and that is something that really helps you, your viewpoint. So I'm closing the poll, team, and I'm going to share the results quickly. Very happy to know only 21% of you are the ones who have to go onto the other side, who feel that yes, it gives you the chill, it gives you that goosebumps or the butterflies in your stomach. Great, but I'm glad I'm here with you, so do not even think about it anymore. If I repeat this poll by end of this session, you should be able to say, you know what, the 21% is now 1% to 2%. We will conquer and take this specific training head on, and you'll see how easy it is to learn anything in this direction when you go in the right way of learning, team. 45% of you are mixed, and that is totally fine. This poll, the results are exactly as I expected. So team, let me take a quick short break and see if all of you are comfortable with what we're doing, and if you have any specific questions which are relevant at the moment. I do have one or two more polls, team. Um, so I'm going to take some of these towards the end, but there's a good important question, so I will address it a little towards the end. Okay, so where is this poll? I've shared the result. Polls. Okay, here. So thank you for this. And I have two more only. Last two. I didn't really count when I started off. I think there's 7 polls in total. This is a very key fundamental question, team. If you know one programming language, is it easy to learn another language? Or is it going to be similar effort? It is like you go for, again, this kind of dance programs and so on, and you learn one type of a dance. Is it going to be tough for you to learn another type of a dance? So this talks about, the poll is focusing on the crowd, the whole audience. What do you all think? What do you think, and what do others think about it? So you're going to be surprised about the result. Let me share it in a few seconds. I am about to close the poll. Get your answers in, everyone. Right, 70% over. I'm going to close it in 3 seconds. Get your final answers in. Just two options, so it's not going to be too tough. And since this is the only question with two answers to it, and you're confused, you can use a coin to toss and see which one you want to choose. Just kidding, guys. All right, close the poll. Results are here. 90% of you believe yes, most concepts are same. Most, we're not saying all. Most concepts are same. Only 10% of you feel the fear that no way, it's still the same effort. And I'll tell you, for the 10% of you, maybe you have not really got a chance to get to a comfortable level in the first programming language. And that is the reason you feel so. I think if you get comfortable in any one programming language, learning the other one will not be that tough. And I am with the 90% of the crowd on this, and I'll tell you why. Most of the concepts are similar, team. Be it writing the structure of the code, what is where, how it flows, be it declaring variables, the types of variables, and how you put values into it, the concepts of conditional statements like if, then, else, or loop statements like for, or conditional loops like while, the concept of functions, the concept of objects, classes, the concept of arrays, the concepts of how you build components as reusable codes to call as and when, how you pass variables to function, how you get returns from functions. All of this remain the same. So what is it that fundamentally changes, everyone? The syntax. What do you, if there's a print in one, there is a system.out.println in something, there is another word for in some other programming language. So in totality, you would notice that the overall structure remains the same. It is just a few components here and there that becomes challenging. Now, if you ask the same question to a developer, a hardcore developer, the answer could be a little bit different. It could be more 30%, 70% rather than 10 and 90. Why? Because they have to go very deep. They have to really master it to be an effective developer. But are you trying to be a developer out here, team? You're not trying to be a software developer. You are trying to master the art of automation testing and be a quality assurance or an automation engineer, right? And that's the reason this poll, you'll see different there. Last one, team. Most of the orientation session is already done with this poll. You've got the answers. You've seen what others are saying, and you've also heard from me. This primarily says, since you know that this is a high scoped area, all of you have seen the results and what you're saying. Do you know how to master? Do you know what is the right approach to do? How do you go about answering this, and how do you go about making sure that you learn it? Yes, some of you felt I don't have IT background, or I'm not working in QA, or I am scared about it. Programming gives me the chills, and so on. But many of you also felt a little comfortable that yes, you know what, we know the direction in which we're going. I actually want to add one more poll if I can, as to how many people are hearing Karthik for the first time, and how many people have heard about me or IT Learn earlier as well. So, team, all 60% votes in. This is again a multiple choice question and answer. So, you have the ability to add more, choose more than one option. So, um, and so that means that not necessarily that you pick one way of learning, but there are some ways that are much better than the other. So, I'm going to close the poll quickly, team, and show you the results. And here are the results. So I'm surprised that learn with a friend is only 15%. Trust me, you should try and improve on this confidence level, team. Sit down and try and learn with someone. Learning on the job is a very important one. I totally side with it. Learning on your own is a very, very lonely journey. You will get a lot of frustrations in between. You will keep getting stuck when you try and learn on your own. Yes, if you have a lot of time and you're ready to invest, and you will not lose hope in between, because the lonely journey can be frustrating, then learning on own is the one of the best ways. And I have done this struggle many, many times in my career, team, because I went looking for a friend, I went looking for a job which will teach me, I also went looking for a guru who can teach me, but it didn't happen. I'm glad that all of you believe in a guru. It is not about IT Learn. It is not about Karthik. It is just the fact that you have a guru. It could be your friend. It could be any other any other trainer across the globe. But the fact that the guru will give you a guided tour. They will tell you exactly what to do, what to step on, what not to. They will make your learning much more fun, much more frustration free. And then towards the end, you'll see that the overall program is a much more successful one. At the end of the day, team, you are investing time, money, lot of dreams into learning anything, and that must pay off. So a lot of people say, you know what, I will learn it on my own to save the money. But do they realize that the value for per hour for the amount of time you're putting in, that is significant? And that is the reason you should try and have multiple ways of learning, not just one. The other one or two ways, team, that I would recommend is, one of the ways to master something is to teach someone else. Learn something, teach someone. Be it your own brother, sister, sibling, spouse, kids, parents, whatever. They won't even understand. But just going and talking to them about what you learned, this is how it works, and showing them, that really makes you much better at your overall whatever you're trying to learn. If you ask me, Karthik, how come you become so well? Because I trained so many people. I've done projects, and I did, learn a lot on my own. But the fact that I trained so many people really made me feel very comfortable about this whole thing. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in the poll. Great job. 80% plus of you have always done the votes. Some of you must have missed it because you're not attentive, but that's a great thing. I don't see your faces in this online trainings. Even you don't see my face rather. You don't see our face, let's say mine and Manoj. But it is so important to engage the audience, and that gets lacking in a lot of trainings, especially online. In class, in person training, you can see people and see if someone is chatting, not attentive, snoring away, and so on. In this online programs, you don't have that opportunity. So how do you engage students? Keep it interesting, keep it in such a way that they're listening and they're able to capture what you're giving. Whatever I teach, if you do not grab, then there's no purpose of this training, correct? And that is where I feel very glad about myself that I do engage people and audience into it. Great, awesome, thank you. I did finish the polls, and I hope you all enjoyed the polls, team, because not only have you seen what your answer is, you've seen what your counterparts, your peers, the other audience members are saying. plus my feedback on each of them. So most of the things are done. I will quickly go through some of this theme, the agenda that I'm talking about, and then I'll get to Q&A. I do see a few questions coming up. Bear with me for a few minutes. We'll get there. Training overview, very simple team. It will be between 20 to 24 hours overall. We will spend about 1 to 1.5 hours Monday to Friday. It will be in the US evenings, India mornings. The exact time and schedule will come through the GoToWebinar tool that we use. So we are very proud of the kind of tools and infrastructure we put in place to conduct these training programs. And so that is where we invest a lot of our capital finances into, to be able to give that feel for the audience. So the schedule change, anything that you see will come to GoToWebinar. The reason I did not fix team is I've been traveling around a little bit. I want to make sure that when I'm doing this, it is there. Is it going to be 1 or 1.5 hours? It is all about, sometimes 1.5 hours could be an extreme learning and you have to be very focused. Especially you come back home or your kids are playing around and you're really not able to focus for 1.5 hours. That I don't want it to happen. Because as a trainer, one of my biggest, not one, my only biggest thing is how effectively I've trained, and that comes as a feedback from the trainees. So your learning is of utmost priority to us. So we will focus a lot in terms of project-based learning. That is what we will talk below. And this is fundamentally the best way to learn team. You take a project, small one, learn some basics, then you take another project, a little complex one, learn some more fundamentals, and so on. Keep doing projects, and that is what will get you the overall exposure. All right. So we will start something with Selenium IDE for sure. We will also have to go to Selenium WebDriver and some of the core concepts. We will do talk about how we work with dynamic and current industry automation needs. How many of you believe, team? I wish I had more polls to ask, but I'm sure most of you believe that what you see as applications have been fundamentally changing every 2 or 3 years. The way the applications behave, the way they look. When I say applications, web-based, mobile-based, cloud-based, whatever, or even client-server desktop. The way they look, the way they function, the way they are being hosted from, or the environments being set up, they all are changing fundamentally every 2-3 years. You'll see a new thing coming, a new look and feel, and it will continue to happen. Like you heard that big saying so many times, that the only thing constant is change. Things will keep changing. So how do you make sure that you capture and you stay with it? We will cover a lot of these fundamentals. We will also do a total C# tutorials, not C# training, and Kiran is the trainer, will conduct this. I'm looking at about 4 hours or so dedicated to learning C# as needed for automation. Always remember this thing. It is like a race. Okay, you're running in a 100-meter race. There are 10 people besides you or 9 people besides you. Same race, everyone. How fast are you supposed to run, team? Should you be running like an Olympic runner who is setting new world records every day, like Bolt? Or are you supposed to be learning in a way where, are you supposed to be running in a way where you just beat the fastest one? And that is what it is right now, team. You need to do enough to get your purpose achieved. You do not have to push yourself through too much. So always remember, the amount of learning that is needed for automation testing is what you'll focus on. So this 4 hours will give you a very good orientation, will set the pace. And this will be done assuming you know no programming. It will not assume that you know some amount of programming, no. And I will also be participating in this training and making sure that you understand the fundamentals. How does C# work? How do we install? How do we set the environment up? How do we start writing our first set of code? How do we debug? How do we make sure that we are doing the right things? How does the syntax work? How do we do each of these things in a very, very short, crisp, neat manner that will be available for you to also look at. And as part of this, if needed, I will be discussing with the team and see if you need to know or get access to much more advanced C# tutorials, which I don't believe you really need at this time, team. All right. Uh, After this, we will definitely do projects based on frameworks. Frameworks are important and interesting, team, more than anything. And it is always good to showcase your framework skill. Apart from how do you work with the WebDriver, the core concepts, the dynamic applications, and a lot of other things which are helping in the continuous build integration and so on, you will see that the frameworks will lay a platform. And we will try and focus on frameworks as well, but not as much as we used to do earlier in terms of frameworks. Maybe we'll take a couple of quick frameworks or show you as part of one or two projects how we build frameworks from ground up. All right. Now, prerequisites, team, if you ask me, not really much, but surely shall help if you can, one, go through the Selenium IDE videos. They're fundamentally the same. They don't change very often. Selenium IDE is a base platform. They keep releasing new versions, but the changes are very small. Go to the Selenium IDE video tutorials, team, that we have at IT Learn, and that will give you a great start. There are about 4 hours or so of videos that once you watch like a movie, you'll get a concept and everything set. All right. You can also try and go through some core Java tutorials. All right. Now, I am not really emphasizing that if you're first time learning C#, then you learn both at the same time. No. But what I definitely want to emphasize is that the concepts are same, and having both of this on your resume will really help. You don't have to go to the interview and say, I am a master at C# and Java. You can always say, I am a master in C#, but I also know Java a little bit. So if the project requires me to work with Selenium with core Java while I'm good at C#, I still can manage and get going very, very quickly. That is what you're trying to do. You're trying to set and showcase your confidence level to the people who are interviewing you. And that makes their decision easy, team. Always understand this. And most of you do not realize this. And this is a very, very important fact. As desperate as you are looking for a job, companies are more desperately looking for the right people. You think that you are the one who's going and searching and hunting for a job. In fact, the bigger challenge is for companies, organizations, and leaders to find the right people. So you need to take this into your hands and help organizations by getting yourself to the skill and providing your services. So you are not doing a help and a kind of a favor to yourself. You are actually doing it for a lot of organizations which are running these platforms. All right. Very, very important. And that one statement should boost your confidence significantly. All right, everyone. Now, what kind of a project work? Very interesting project works, team. Now, I wish I could create a poll on the fly. Can I create a poll on the fly? Manage polls will take me here, but I don't think I'll be able to edit the polls while the session is going on. Right, Manoj? I can't edit the poll, right? Not editable. Polls edit, yeah. So let me ask this. Yeah, I can, Manoj. Thank you. I am able to do it. So very quick thing, team. I'll not spend too much time, but it is important for me to ask a couple of questions. So as a need, I will. So one answer: how many of you have attended IT Learn or Karthik's? Oops. Manoj, you're saying something. I interrupted. Sorry. What were you saying?
No, Karthik.
All right. So all of you are seeing what I'm typing. So now we can save the time in actually taking the poll itself. The other one is, do you know about the new not view, new communication app TurnWave that we are developing at through Atomics 27. In fact, TurnWave is being renamed to InterAFT. So this is the project I want to use. Yes, heard. Yes, did a project also on it. What is InterAFT? So these are the three answers that I'm providing. And let me quickly run these polls. I hope you all are comfortable. Next poll I'll add is, are you comfortable with me running these polls or not? All right. The first one I wanted to know, team, how many of you have attended IT Learn or my sessions earlier? Either you did it live, you just watched the videos, or it's your first experience. So team, take it very quickly so that we don't waste everyone's time. So I've got about 70% votes in. I am closing the poll. Close poll, share results. I did live, great, thank you. I just viewed videos, 42%, majority is there. So a lot of people who've been watching videos wanted to come and experience this live online. That's great. First experience, 30%. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the 30%. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm glad that whenever I speak, I think that everyone are aware of me. That is the kind of a trainer's pride that sometimes creeps in, and these kind of polls really will set me back on my ground. First experience, 30% of you, great. Thank you so much. It really motivates me. Last one, the second question that's coming up, right? So how many of you are aware of TurnWave? So TurnWave is a communication app. So for those of you who have not heard it, you will hear it in the next few days. You're almost ready with the beta version. This is being renamed to InterAFT, and I'll tell you what InterAFT is for the people who do not know. So if you don't know about TurnWave, you will definitely not know about InterAFT team. So if you don't know about TurnWave, then you can choose the last one. What is TurnWave or InterAFT? If you heard about it or you also did a project through us with it, you can choose the first and second. But only if you do not know what TurnWave is or InterAFT, then you can tell me. All right, team, 80% plus votes in, close poll, share results. So yes, heard about it. 18% of you have done a project. So you're someone who attended this training or done the project on it and coming back to learn more. 78% of you do not know what it is. Let me tell you very briefly in a few seconds what InterAFT is. InterAFT stands for Interactive App for Trainers. It is a simple communication tool, a simple broadcast tool that helps trainers to send quick short messages based on certain categories to the students. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. It does not have a hardcore functionality and so on. It's a very, very simple challenge or a pain that the trainers have worldwide that we're trying to address through this tool. And that's a very interesting platform for you to practice on, because for automation testing, you need a lot of workflows. You need a lot of, modules that will take you from one module to the other, how they get integrated and so on. A lot of people who have done the project through us will agree that that was a great platform to really do a live project on. The scope of learning, the scope of practicing and mastering your automation testing, the purpose for which you're here, has high valuation with this tool. More details about InterAFT, hold on please, it is coming up. We are developing the beta version, almost done. We've had some 40 plus people did an excellent job in testing the first beta version. We've got about 55-60 defects that we had to go through and fix, and our development team has taken the entire thing, cleaned it up, and the final beta version is getting ready for release. So that is the platform I want to use. Two ways, team. One, for us to do a project on and how we automate and learn Selenium with C# while working on such a project. Two, also use the tool for its core purpose, which is communication. So whenever I or Manoj or Kiran wants to be able to send you a message, and we are able to do it, right? So team, that's the other result. I'm going to hide it, and we're going to use InterAFT as the project for learning automation. Not just it's not a real project that you're going to work. I'm going to show I'm going to be doing it, and I'm going to show how you'd approach such a thing. And that is good to take as part of your training project and put it on your resume and explain about InterAFT when you get to your interviews and so on. Because we've done it on these open systems like Facebook, Southwest, travel sites, and so on, a lot of it. So now it's good to come to something that is being developed in-house. Last one, before I get into Q&A team, how do we collaborate? Primarily, we'll use Google Drive. So this I put it on my local machine. The reason is Google Drive is acting a little slow. The second is the
Karthik,
fact
we are
that,
not able to see your screen
oops,
where you are typing.
sorry, thanks Manoj. I just did. How come it got, I think after the poll, it didn't happen, right? Didn't you see it earlier or it just stopped a few seconds back, few minutes back?
When you are typing that poll, from that time you're not able to
After
see.
the poll. Okay, cool. Thank you. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure how much I missed the typing. So I'm here, team. How do we, oops, how we all collaborate? So Google Drive, we will do a lot of emails. We will also use InterAFT for the collaboration. And you will start, I don't think we're going to divide you into teams and so on. And I don't believe we're going to use WhatsApp or anything, but primarily Google Drive team. Whatever we do, we will put it into a folder. There'll be a folder created called SLT C# May 2016, and it will be shared with all of you. Everything that we will do will be here. So if I show you something earlier and what kind of a output we will get towards the end of such programs. Give me a second. I'm just going to show that folder, one folder. It was last batch that I did. I believe this is the one. There you go. So for each project, we will create documents. For example, project 1 is already open. Let me open project 2 and show you what kind of documents we create. So as the session goes on, team, we will start creating notes. Whatever we learn, we create some notes that you can refer to easily. So any concept that we teach while the projects are being done and so on, you will see how every concept being documented, all the guidance being there and so on. Similarly, as we do any frameworks and so on, we'll talk about what it is, how is it built, what are the advantages, disadvantages, and what kind of application we should use. So for every session, everything that we do, we keep updating these documents, and this will all be shared with each of you. And we will also work a lot in terms of spreadsheets and how we organize our information and approach any kind of a project in a very planned, organized manner. It's very important, team, as to how neatly we organize things and how effectively we document. One of the biggest skills that I always emphasize for a QA engineer, more importantly for a QA engineer, is your documentation skill, the ability to write it in the correct English grammar and in the correct format. Okay, so all these things we will put it and use Google Drive and collaborate through it. Emails, yes, you'll frequently getting, so please do add learn@itelearn.com to your contacts in your email team, because you don't want some of these emails to reach spam. You don't want it to go into the promotion tab, and if it goes, then you're missing out on the important communication. You won't believe, team, there are about 300 people plus who registered, but right now only 60 plus people attended. There'll be at least 50 to 100 people who come back and say, sorry, I missed the session, I forgot about it, I didn't get a reminder, I never got an email, that never came to me. What was the timing? Oh, how did I miss? I thought it was tomorrow, I didn't know it was today, I was waiting for it yesterday. 40-50 people will come back and say this is the reason they could not attend. They would wanted to attend, they would have loved to attend, but they failed. And that factor is what we're trying to address through InterAFT, and that is the pain area we're trying to solve with it. All right, everyone? Great, I'm done. Just to let you know, the way me, Manoj, and Kiran will collaborate to make this training a very successful one is we'll start with our day 1, day 2 demos coming week, and we will go primarily without much break. The Selenium videos that I want you to watch and the Code Java tutorials I want you all to watch, the email will be sent by Manoj or learn@itelearn.com before tomorrow this time. So you'll have an opportunity about 5-6 days to just sit down, relax, watch the videos, get comfortable before the actual training program kicks in. Now do make sure that when you attend this session, be very focused and committed team, because you are investing a lot of your dreams and vision into it. There is one good document which is primarily a SAQ document. SAQ is something called as a should ask questions. What this does, team, is it gives you most of the answers to your queries. While I take the question and answer right now, we will update this SAQ document and make sure that you all have the overview of what do we do on various aspects. Because a lot of times they're relevant things, a lot of times their things are not relevant for you. So as we go through the Q&A, we'll answer that. All right, great. So team, I'm going to quickly go through some of the questions. I request everyone to do me a favor. If there were questions that you did ask earlier and I didn't get a chance to answer, or Manoj didn't get a chance to answer in the chat, please bring them up now. Right from now, any questions coming up, I will definitely start addressing them if it has not already been answered. And some of the answers, Manoj may type it in, some of the answers I will provide. Ready for your questions, team? And team, I'm not unmuting anyone at this moment because there's so many of you. Once we start speaking at this point in time, there will be too much chaos. That is the reason I request you all to type in your question in the question section and we'll be able to answer. I'm newbie here. I want to do manual testing. What I need to do, Jalana? Okay. All right. Can I say something fundamentally, my feeling, my version, and I'm feeling that some of you will agree with me. Automation testing is very interesting to learn. Sorry, guys. It's much more fun. It is a little bit tough as you feel, but once you start, you'll see it's like a breeze. It will take a little bit of effort from your end. If you're manual testing, you want to learn manual testing, it is much more, what do you say, mugging up the concepts. It's much more about when you learn it, when you work on it, it'll be very interesting. But when you're learning the concepts, what is STLC, what is test artifacts, how do you test on which boxes, what is the defect reports, and all these things, more conceptual. So if someone thinks that they want to learn automation testing, but they believe that manual testing is the first step towards automation testing, you're totally wrong. You can just be an automation testing engineer or automation analyst and without having too much knowledge on manual testing. Because, sorry team, manual testing is the core team. It'll never go away. But automation testing is a one small bubble in that core. Okay, it is much more interesting and it can be learned independently. And when you start doing it, you can focus and become just an automation test engineer. So which comes first, egg or the chicken? Doesn't matter. You can go either way. Once you learn automation testing, it is much more interesting. Then you can go back to manual testing. The good thing about this program, team, is you can come back and repeat it. You can go watch the videos if you miss, or you can repeat them so that you can understand or come and attend another live session. So Jalana, my answer to you is no it background. But I can learn anything but know its background. Know its background. Okay. So you could definitely opt for automation testing directly, and also you can start manual testing or repeat them. Sometimes, team, this kind of training programs is not mastered in the first attempt. People do it twice. First, they'll maybe attend live. The second time, they'll repeat using some videos that we have done for other batches, and that's when they get very, very strong at these concepts. Which part will Karthik take? Okay, which part do you want me to take, Srilekha? I will take, so WebDriver concepts I will be taking along with Manoj. IDE, maybe Manoj, or maybe the videos that I will share. You can go through them because very fundamental concepts. We'll just do 1 or 2 sessions on IDE. Even I will be there, part of it. I will be there through the training team, entire. Even if Manoj is there, Kiran is there. So I'm going to participate along with them. Not like live projects, because live projects, I don't really need to speak much. The team does it. But this is a training. So this is my training. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there through the projects, through the frameworks and so on. I will also be part of the C# training along with Kiran. But I'll let him guide you through the overview and I'll keep giving my inputs. And once that is done, when we take the C# learning with Selenium WebDriver and do the projects, I'm going to be doing everything totally myself. Okay, the fundamentals I will seek the help of my team's assistance along with me to conduct. Once we get to the more project level and more detailed sessions as part of this training itself, I'll be conducting. C# with coded UI with Selenium is what you're going to teach. So, Suresh, we have created a document as to exactly the combination, what kind of a C# platform, all the tools that you need to get to be able to install and start working. So that will be coming to all the confirmed participants as soon as we finish this. By when Manoj is sending the prerequisites, he'll also be sending that to the confirmed participants. How long will this training duration? So team, we're looking at about 3 weeks, but keep a buffer of 4 weeks, because sometimes one of the good things at IT Learn is we don't try and hurry up. Our concept and our intent is to make sure that we cover everything, and if needed, do more than what we promised. So that being said, the sessions do get extended sometimes, and that is the reason we want you to be a little patient about the end. In 3 weeks or so, the core concepts, everything will get covered, but there could be a little bit more topics that are left that we may extend it to the 4th week as well. So 3 to 4 weeks. Will you be able to provide tips on how to get familiar with the process, low-level architecture, apart from the QA tools, while working in the real-time projects? So, about the process of low-level architecture of system design, are you talking about, Subhashini? Or the development life cycle? Are you talking about that? How do they do that? How do you design and architect an entire project? Or are you talking about something more testing related? Design related, yes. Not really, but it's an interesting point. I think I should be able to do it. For example, since we talk about InterAFT, I can talk about how the SDLC work, development lifecycle, and how we are doing the testing. So as part of that, we'll talk about the FRDs, we'll talk about the technical design specifications, and how we created the platform, started designing the architecture, and so on. At a high level, we'll give you the walkthrough. If possible, I'll get the developers also to participate and give an overview of how they approached it. What softwares need be needed? Nehal, that I've answered. You'll be getting the documentation. Is it possible to start after 20th as whole next week? I will be in mandatory training session in my office. See, this one, I cannot really comment on that, because we put the schedule. We wanted to finish it before end of May because the summer starts in US. Most of the participants join from the US. And once the summer starts, there'll be a lot of people traveling and vacations and so on. So wanted to do that. What are the modules will be taught using C#? So Manoj did answer it, but modules, not really modules in C#. What are the concepts? What are the different aspects of the programming language, and to what extent will we be conducting? When we do the session on C#, before that, you will get to know how deep it will go. Or Manoj, maybe we'll create that document also, the third one now, which talks about what all we will cover as part of the C# learning in it, and send it across. What is the market rate for automation engineer with the skills? Depends. Let's say in the US, it can start anywhere from $30 to $35 per hour if you're looking at an hourly contract base, and can go anywhere up to $85 to $90 per hour. That is the kind of market it is there. If you're looking for a full-time job in the US, you're looking anywhere between $70,000 to about $120,000 as your package annually. In India, if you ask me, team, I really cannot comment from a consulting perspective, but from a starting package, you're looking at, if it's first time job, you're looking at about 3 lakhs to about 4.5 lakhs per year. But if you're looking at, if you're already an experienced one with 2 years experience, you're looking at anywhere between 5 to 10 lakhs, team. Once you learn the tools and once you have some experience, that's what it is. If you go to, and again, location is important, because some locations are very, very high paying locations, because the cost of living and the competition, the job package is much higher. If I recommend, team, having seen my career overall, and I'm very proud of all the opportunities that have been provided and all the gurus that I've met, you should try and pick up a job not because of the pay package, but because of the learning potential in that job. Will they push you enough? Will they motivate you enough to learn new things and drive you? Or they'll keep on letting you work on only one thing for the next 2 years. One of the biggest tragedies that happen, team, people attend this training, they take the benefit of it, they go and get a great job in a software testing domain, but they'll never work on automation for the next 2-3 years, and they get really frustrated because they'll go back to manual. Say, this training does not necessarily have to put you into automation testing job. It may put you into manual testing also. That will happen. But try and see if you have an option to get a job in this area. You'll really enjoy it as well. All right, team, I'm so sorry. We did extend to about 7 minutes past, but if you bear for a few more minutes, we'll go through some of the important questions and answer it. What I'll do is, while I'm doing this Q&A, I will have the my team kind of document few of these questions and share it with you all. All right, I can learn anything. Okay, what is the duration? That's answered. I'm already learning Selenium, Java with Shankar. Do I need to learn this course from beginning? Rahul, good question. Selenium with Java, you're learning. You don't really need to learn from beginning. If you just attend that C# sessions and 1 or 2 project sessions with me when I use C# within Selenium, then that should be enough, Rahul. That is the reason one of the polls I said, is it tough to learn the second programming language? It's not really. The answer is you don't need to attend the entire thing, just the portion. Like IDE, you can skip. Concepts of WebDriver, you can skip. You don't need to learn all the frameworks, but the C# overview and the C# overview and 1 or 2 projects that I show using this with the Selenium binding. No IT background. Not a relevant answer. Sushma. I don't know. Okay. So I think that one you answered for what are the modules for C#. For that you said no, not relevant answer to what Manoj said. Like I said, Sushma, we will document it and send it across on that. Not the frameworks. We're not talking frameworks on that. C# with coded UI, Selenium is what you're going to teach. So we will come with you, team. How it's gonna, what is the technology platform, everything that we're going to showcase. If there's any question that I'm missing out, team, either I've answered it or it is not relevant at this point, or you have to take it offline with the team. And a lot of things will come to you through email. We've created a great document which guides through step by step of how you're going to get started on Selenium with C#. So to all the participants who are going to be part of the training, we'll be sending that. All right. So if you've not got team, maybe you've not confirmed yet into the training program, and that's the reason. Do we get licensed version? Actually, we'll go with the trial version and so on. There's a free versions also. So all these details about the C#, this is not the session for it. That specific document will be emailed across. All right. So most of the answers relevant to that I'm ignoring from now. Are the videos available for the course? Absolutely. They will be available. Will we work on live project using automation? Yes, you will practice along with me. Whatever I show, you go back and start practicing on the same application or something different. But it's not going to be like the live project sessions that we typically conduct with IT Learn. That's going to be a little different. This is total and training team. We will show you. You should practice on it. I'm going to teach and you're going to practice. I mentioned about continuous integration. I didn't mention Jenkins, and I didn't talk about what we're going to use. It's just the word, the continuous integration that I used. I didn't say Jenkins. Will I have access to record videos? Yes. Will you use versus test management tool? How that will be? I don't know. I'm not able to understand your question also. Can you look at the question? Okay, now you put it correctly. Will you use VS? Oh, okay, Visuals MTM as a test management tool? No, we're not going to use any test management tool. Your focus should be on learning specific thing. All right. This training is fundamentally trying to lay your foundation very strong, build the right pillars for you, and make sure that the whole framework is set in terms of your learning. After that, any small concept can be learned on the job or by yourself. But the base platform is what we're trying to set. If your base platform is set and you feel confident about the concepts and areas that I've said, then you don't need this training. You can go directly and learn on your own team. If you have specific needs that you need to learn, then you can do your self-learning. If you want to get that foundation laid very strongly, set it up for a great career ahead, then yes, this is the program that you can put your effort into. I'm in New York City. So what was your question, Charanpreet? I didn't understand. We can hear. Can you please upload the video ASAP? Yes, ma'am. I will do that. Once I'm done with this session, we will convert it, then encode it, upload it, embed it into the website. So yes, and we'll share it. Okay. But you can check the YouTube channel. The first it'll come to the YouTube channel, then to the website, and then the email. So if you keep going to youtube.com/qtplearn, most of you should be aware of it, right? The YouTube channel. You'll find the link on there. I mean, as soon as it's uploaded, maybe another couple of hours or so, you should go here. A lot of subscribers on a team, almost 30,000 subscribers. you'll see the video getting hosted out here. All right, great. I think most of it is here, guys. The technical aspects as to what to install, once again, do not repeat this question for me, please. You will get a documentation with all the clear instructions. Once you see that, you can ask us any questions, because any answer that I give now is going to confuse the overall audience, and that is why we don't want to answer that specific thing. We have prepared a document that will really guide you. Is there an option to learn Selenium and JavaScript? JavaScript is what you'll typically see when you do the IDE part of it, but very limited. And the reason we migrate from IDE to more of a standard programming language like C# or Core Java JUnit is to get the power out of it. JavaScript is a very light version, and it's got its own limitations, and that's why you get to the next level, right? Okay, New York City was related to market rate with the skill set. Okay, so what I said is New York City market rate. Could be $10-15 over, let's say, what you may find in Los Angeles or Chicago, maybe about $15-20 more than what you may find in other places like Dallas and so on. If you're working in Manhattan, if you're working in downtown Manhattan, then yes. All right, team. Thank you all. That's about it. We've come to the end of the session. Most of you could not see the chat that happened, but we'll try and document it, add it with the SAQ. So there are 3-4 deliverables that are coming to your way. One is the SAQ. SAQ is like an FAQ, but should ask questions that will have answers to many of your questions. We'll update that with some of the question and answers that have happened here. Manoj will be sending you also the prerequisites of what videos we want you to view, so that will give you a good head start when we get into the training next week. Third, Manoj will also be sharing the complete technical aspects of how you, what you install, what kind of tools you need, and what you need to download and start using for C# with Selenium. That document will only be sent to the confirmed participants. Please do note that. Fourth one, what did I just say? What else did I say, team? I had something else to deliver. Yeah, I think just these questions added to the overall SAQ and sent across. So that we're going to do. Great. Thank you all. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the session like I did. I really enjoyed it. I'm excited that I'm coming back to training. This is a big passion area for me. Very excited that I'm picking up C# because something different from what I've been doing earlier. So look forward. We'll see you back in the next session. Thank you, everyone. Bye now. Thank you so much.